Follow through on this one. After hearing reports that Iran had indeed closed the Strait of Hormuz, the White House demands it be reopened immediately. Watch this.
The president was made aware of those reports before I came to the podium. That is completely unacceptable. And again, this is a case of what they're saying publicly is different privately. We have seen an uptick of traffic in the Strait today, and I will reiterate the president's expectation and demand that the Strait of Hormuz is reopened immediately, quickly and safely. That is his expectation. It has been relayed to him privately that is what's taking place, and these reports publicly are false.
Retired Admiral Robert Harward joins me now. All right, Admiral, welcome to the program. Give me your honest assessment militarily. Can military power open the strait? If we brought in the U.S. Navy, the NATO navies, can it be opened militarily?
Without a doubt. It's just the level of violence and destruction you need to do to implement that. And so the president went out of his way to try to accommodate the Iranians. He agreed to talk, agreed to negotiations. We stopped a bombing campaign to accommodate them, and now he feels they've reneged on that deal. But yet ships flowed yesterday. So again, it's nighttime in Iran right now. Tomorrow morning, let's see what ships flow. But I'm convinced the president feels he's been betrayed after the efforts he took to help and accommodate the Iranians. But we've seen over history, anytime you accommodate or appease the Iranians, they just use it for their advantage. I think this president and this administration will double down on the use of force to be able to open those straits if necessary, but willing and wanting to use the political approach first.
Do you think that Trump paused too early?
No. I think he went right to the edge. He made it very clear. And one thing the president's done, everything he said he's going to do. So I think they timed it well. I think some ships were starting to flow. The Iranians, and I think the U.S. did not expect the Israeli actions to be incorporated into this ceasefire. And I know the president now has reached out to them, but that wasn't part of the initial negotiations. They negotiated in true faith. We made accommodations, and the Iranians changed their mind. So I think his timing was good. And I think also additional forces, which were still flowing to the region, have arrived. So his options with the additional military force, like the 11th MEU, the Boxer, those assets are now in place. It only gives him more options.
On Saturday, Vice President J.D. Vance, along with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, they will lead the U.S.-Iran peace talks in Pakistan. Can you give us any optimism from these talks?
Well, I would tell you this is unprecedented in the level of leadership meeting. You've got the prime minister, the foreign minister from Iran, and the vice president of the United States. You've never had that level of meetings. But here's what's not clear. Who's in charge? Does the prime minister or foreign minister really speak for Iran, or are they just surrogates for the IRGC who control the country, and the IRGC is just leveraging them to build time? So it's really not clear who are the decision makers and what's the command structure in Iran to dictate that. So I'm optimistic at the level of meeting, unprecedented, but I'm still remain concerned who is making the decisions in Iran.
The State Department is warning U.S. citizens to leave Iraq by way of land rather than flying out. That's because they're worried about rockets, missiles, and drones in the airspace. It seems drones are playing a huge role in this war. Have we ever seen anything like this before? Is it brand new warfare?
It's the evolution of warfare, and you're exactly right. As you've watched conflict the last 2 decades, drones have been the defining factor. We used it for ISR in Afghanistan and Iraq. The Ukrainians came in and out-innovated us at more cost-effectively to use kinetic drones to balance the power with Russia. And now you're seeing Iran do that same approach, but mass, not only affordability of drones, but the mass of drones and kinetic drones to balance power against the United States. And I think it's almost irresponsible that our defense industry hasn't moved with the speed of urgency to adapt and build drone capabilities that's going to change the nature of war. It's obviously blind to anyone watching it, but are we able to keep up with the innovation that our adversaries are? And to date, the answer is no.
Oh dear. Admiral, thank you very much for being with us this morning. We won't need your expertise, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks.
Thank you.